Hi John, Jeremy here from Delonix. I have had a look at your two websites and ran a few background tools to just check the SEO that your previous person had been doing, and maybe come back to you with a few ideas of what I've seen and found, and what they a few suggestions. So to start off with, in terms of SEO, the first thing I do is check the backlinks to a site. So when you get another site to link to your site, that is still the strongest way to increase your rankings, because it's a signal to Google that your site is popular. The more sites that link to you, the more popular supposedly your site is. Now, because that was open to abuse by spammers and pretty much all SEO companies prior to 2012, Google released an update called Penguin in April of 2012 in the US and rolled it out to Australia later that year, which looked for deliberate, what they call over-optimization, where people were deliberately building links that weren't editorially given on their own merit. They were low quality links designed to try and manipulate the search results, and Google, through this algorithm, penalizes sites. Now, I won't go into too much more detail about that. It starts to get a bit techy, but I can guarantee you, I can even put you in touch with many people who have had their sites penalized as a result. So I'm always cautious when it comes to SEO people. Are they doing it right, or are they heading down a path where your site could disappear? So the first thing I did, as I said, was have a look at your links for Black Belt Plus. That's obviously the main site, and using this particular tool, it analyzes the quality of the links and the potential for getting penalized. Now, as you can see, it's come back and said it's a high risk, and judging by the information that this tool has brought back, I can see that she's been getting quite a few links. In fact, there was almost 4,000 links in total, across from 76 different websites. So basically, really, you look at this number, there's 76 different websites linking to Black Belt Plus. Unfortunately, the trust value from these websites is very low. So in other words, they are low quality sites linking to your website. If you go through and then have a look at the breakdown, roughly 17% are flagged as very bad, 73% as questionable, and only 10% using this tool. Now, this tool's not 100% bulletproof, but it just gives you an idea, and you can go in and actually look at those links one by one, which is what we've done in the past for Penguin penalty cases. So my concern, though, is, as typically used to work prior to 2012, is that your girl's been getting a lot of what they call money keyword links. So when somebody links back to you, the way that they link to you is important in rankings. So this is like a bit of a keyword cloud. It shows you the links that the words that are being used in those links back to your site. And on the upside, there's quite a few, like at least there's a variety, and equally on the upside is they are what we call long tail keywords. It's not just short two-word karate classes or karate class Gold Coast. They're obviously manipulated artificial links, and Google's all over those. So the 4, 5, 6 word phrases is much better, but again, like your breakdown, 22% of the power of the links are using this one phrase. So it's very obvious that this is artificial and manipulating or attempting to manipulate the search results. So if I was to go through and have a look at these 2,000 odd links, so it's scaled down from this tool's found 227. So if I was to go through and have a look at these links one by one, you could sort of classify them as, are they good, are they bad? Just by seeing this, I can see there's a lot of old techniques that were used prior to 2012 to get these links for you. Now, what does all that mean? Well, I downloaded all these keywords that she's using to rank for your site, put it into a ranking report, and like based on these keywords you are ranking quite well. Now that being said, they're not competitive. I mean, karate for toddlers burly, there's going to be very few sites. If you're not ranking on the first page, and you are ranked for #1, which is good, but if you're not ranking on the first page for a keyword that's has that less amount of competition, then there's some structurally some problem with your site on a structural basis. So whilst you are ranking really good, you look at that and go, wow, there's a lot of #1s, it's doing good. My concern is the techniques that she's doing to get you to that are questionable, and if sorry, back to this one, and she's focusing too much on using what we call money keywords rather than just linking to your brand, or just using words like click here, visit site, this link, that kind of stuff. You really need to mix up this graph and have your money keywords as maybe only 5 to 10%, and your brand and other need to make up the majority of your links, because that's how they are in the natural world. People don't, when they're talking about a website naturally and they say, hey, have a look at this website over here, they'll say this website over here, and they'll link to it, or they'll say www dot, and they'll do a link to the home page, or an internal page if it's an article that they're sharing on Facebook. That's how a natural link looks like. Links that have these kind of sorry, back to this one, these kind of words as the link, they're not natural, and it's so easy for Google or any algorithm to pick that up and go, you know what, that's all artificial links, we're going to penalize the site. So I'm not saying this to scare you. I've just seen over the last couple of years time and time again where sites that were doing really well have all of a sudden, after a Google refresh, have just been obliterated, gone nowhere, and the business has lost tens of thousands of dollars each month as a result. So all I'm saying is she's using techniques that used to work prior to 2012 and now pretty much don't work, and can in fact get you penalized. But the reason why it's working so well here is because they are not very competitive keywords. So kids martial arts is probably the one with the most competition out of all these ones. I don't know why it's got Miami there, unless that's part of Queensland as well, I don't know about. But when I looked at the other site, the Kids Love Martial Arts Burleigheads Queensland.com, not doing as well. And when I had a quick look on was it this tool? No, this one. You can see there's only 5 separate domains linking to this one, and not as many keywords either. So this more info, that's what I'm talking about. You need links that look naturally, that look natural, that link to you with natural text, not this kind of stuff. This is obviously artificial. Yes, you do have that in there, but it should only be 5 to 10% ballpark of the number of links. Certainly not 50% of your links being what they call a money keyword. So you've just got to be very careful that your site doesn't drop off. Now, so I looked, they're ranking well. This one isn't ranking so well for the Kids Love Martial Arts Burleigheads URL, but obviously you're not getting the results. So my next step was to take all these keywords and put them into Google Keyword Tool and just see what kind of volume are we getting. Now, Kids Martial Arts is averaging 210 searches a month in Australia, but that's Australia wide. Unless someone is specifically in around Burleigh Heads, they're not going to be interested in that. So she is right by putting the suburb names and stuff in there, but how many people are typing in karate for toddlers Burleigh? Minimal. That it just hasn't even come up on here. And in fact, of all the keywords that she's trying to target you for, only these two, and again I don't know about Miami, but only these two have got any kind of search volume, and 10 searches a month is nothing. So all these lists of keywords, basically no one's typing them in. So it doesn't matter if you rank #1 for all these keywords, because no one's typing that into Google. They're not going to find your site. So when you use the Google Keyword Planner, Google also gives you some suggestions. So kids karate, a bit more search volume, 390 per month on average, but again, this is Australia wide, so it's going to be no good to you ranking or putting time and money into trying to rank for number one for this search term if your market is only local. So now we're starting to get a bit more local. Martial arts Gold Coast, still, that's not 260. They're going to be red hot targeted to you because you want them around your area. But these are the ones you sort of need to consider, ones that are more, you look at the search volume, you look at ones that are laser targeted to what you're offering, and they're the ones you'd go for. So look, it's tough because there isn't a lot of search volume. So I guess to summarize, she's getting some results certainly in what she's targeting, but these keywords, and they are laser targeted obviously to your area, but they're just not, there's just no one searching for that. So my advice would be that I would have a look at this keyword list and just see, is there anything in there even worth targeting. Like Queensland's still pretty broad, even Gold Coast is pretty broad, but like I would at least consider adding them into the mix because you've got some volume and you've got a fighting chance of getting some traffic for it. Failing that, if it was me, I'd be looking at other strategies, local marketing, Facebook ads just in your immediate area. You can laser target the areas that you want your ads to show in for Facebook, and get a much better message to market match that way. Or the other alternative is you do target some of these more broad keywords, like especially martial arts for kids or kids karate, using Google AdWords pay-per-click, but again you only show those type of ads in your immediate area, which you can set up in a Google campaign, so that if someone is in your area and they type in martial arts or kickboxing or any of these keywords, that it will show up in in the paid results, and at least the market, the people that are seeing your ads that you're paying for are in your area and are your target market. So coming back to the actual website itself and the design, as I mentioned to you on the phone, it's not mobile responsive. So by making the browser smaller, you can see that the page is not changing. So when people land on this on a tablet or something, they've got to pinch and squeeze and scroll to read it all. So from a conversion point of view, if people are coming to your site from a phone or tab or mobile device, you're going to be losing a lot of that traffic if a site's difficult to navigate and read. So I mean, that's structurally or technically speaking, that's something that needs to be addressed. I also, from a marketing point of view, think that, and look, I'm not the expert on this by any means, but I can see that the call to action could be improved on this page. So someone landing on this site, it's for me, I would work with a marketer in your area that specializes in landing page design or marketing design, and really sort of make it easier for somebody that when they come on here, it's like, what do I do next? You got to tell them this is what to do next. So they have sort of got that here. I just think it could be improved, and by you telling me that you're not really getting the results, and obviously that's accurate. So without actually having a look at your logins, and I don't know if they've got goals set up or funnels set up in your Google Analytics or anything like that, but that would be the only way to really sort of know how effective. So obviously from here you want them going to, if it's the kids site, you want them coming to here. This design, again, look, I mean, this is what was working a few years ago. This type of design doesn't really work well in Australia. Again, you'd have to look at the analytics results and see how many people that land on this page actually commit and book this. So if this is your conversion here, hopefully, free report. Do people really want that these days? It's been, in my opinion, and again, I'm not the expert or master, but in my opinion, the free report model has been done done to death, and people don't want more opt-ins, they don't want newsletters, they don't want all this rubbish. They just want, sorry, that's wrong choice of words, I'm not saying yours is rubbish. They just, there's so much distraction now that they just don't want that. They just want a solution. They just want to book their kids in, or they just want a quote, or whatever. They just want a plumber. They just want an electrician. So I know you got this from you mentioned you got this from a company that specializes in it for US clients, and this is very much, I can look at this, and the long sales letter stuff was what I was first learning about in 2006 when I was doing online marketing. So I mean, really, I think your landing page for even this one needs to be simplified, and people look at this, and I'm not saying it's bad, but I just think if you split test and you tested this versus something much shorter, simpler, and punchy, you'd find that you get more people converting to whatever it is. So get our class schedule prices and web specials, or what was the one on the bottom? Okay, so it's the same one. So I think that this could be improved from a conversion point of view. I'd again have to look at the analytics to really sort of dive into it. But I mean, you've said yourself it's not getting the results that you want. So something has to change. It'd be really interesting to see though that how many people that land on this actually click through here, and how many people that come through here sign up. And if it's, I think you said 2.5%, like there's other things you can do to analyze why they're leaving, why are the other 97.5% leaving this page without signing up. Maybe you need to test the offer, those kind of things. So I don't know if that really helps in terms of what you are looking for. I mean, I'm not trying to bag the work that was done from your previous VA. She would argue, hey, I'm getting good results. These are figures that anyone would be happy with, but there's just no search volume for these type of things. So you need to look at another way of getting traffic to your website. My suggestion would be, looking at the Facebook ads, looking at pay-per-click just in your area, and targeting, some keywords that are still relevant to where you are, where the business is, but have got more search volume than zero, like these ones have. So look, John, happy to have a chat to you on the phone again after you've got your head around this, and if you want any of this data, just let me know, and I can I guess I can export it or something and send you it. But hope that's somewhat helpful, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon if you need me. Cheers.